The automatic doors slid open and shut all afternoon, letting in gusts of cold air and the steady rhythm of a neighborhood grocery store in Columbus, Ohio. Emily Carter stood behind register 3, scanning barcodes and offering polite smiles she'd practiced for years. She was 28, observant by nature, the kind of person who noticed mismatched shoes or trembling hands. The store buzzed with ordinary life, parents juggling lists, kids begging for candy, elderly shoppers counting coupons. Nothing about the day felt remarkable. Yet Emily felt an unease she couldn't name, a quiet tug in her chest that told her to pay closer attention than usual. Around 4:30, a man stepped into her line with a cart half full of groceries. He wore a baseball cap pulled low and kept glancing at his phone. Beside him stood a little boy, maybe 6 years old, thin arms wrapped around a stuffed dinosaur. The child's eyes were red, as if he'd been crying, and he flinched when the man raised his voice to ask about the total. Emily smiled at the boy and said hello. He didn't answer. He looked down, gripping the toy tighter, his knuckles white. Emily felt the tug again, stronger this time. As she scanned the items, Emily tried gentle conversation. "That's a cool dinosaur," she said softly. The boy's lips parted, but the man interrupted, tapping the counter impatiently. "Can we hurry this up?" he snapped. Emily apologized and continued scanning, but her eyes kept drifting back to the child. There was something off, no familiar ease, no shared jokes, no quiet understanding between adult and child. The boy's shoes were on the wrong feet. His jacket was too thin for winter. Emily remembered her training videos, the ones most cashiers ignored. The receipt printed, and the man reached for it quickly. As he did, the boy whispered something, barely audible. Emily leaned forward. "What was that?" she asked, keeping her tone calm. The man stiffened. "He didn't say anything," he said sharply. The boy's eyes filled with tears. Emily felt her heart pound. She thought about the missing child posters she'd seen taped near the employee entrance, faces that stared back with silent pleas. She couldn't be sure, but she knew she couldn't ignore the feeling anymore. Emily pretended the register had frozen. "I'm sorry, sir, it looks like there's a delay," she said, pressing a button she knew would call her supervisor. The man sighed loudly, shifting his weight. The boy glanced up at Emily, desperation flickering across his face. In that moment, Emily noticed a small birthmark near his ear, shaped like a crescent. Her breath caught. She had seen that mark before, on a flyer posted just days earlier. The name on it had been Noah Bennett. The supervisor, Karen, approached with a practiced smile. Emily leaned in and whispered quickly, her words tumbling over each other. Karen's expression changed instantly. She nodded and casually stepped behind the counter, blocking the exit. "Sir, we need to verify something with your payment," Karen said. The man's jaw tightened. He grabbed the cart handle. "I'm in a hurry," he said. Karen held her ground. Emily's hands trembled, but she kept her face neutral, watching the boy closely. The man tried to pull the cart away, but at that moment, a store security guard appeared, alerted by Karen's discreet signal. "Is there a problem here?" he asked. The man stammered, anger flashing in his eyes. The boy suddenly spoke louder, his voice breaking. "That's not my dad," he said. The words seemed to freeze the air. Shoppers turned. Emily felt tears sting her eyes, but she stayed still, letting the adults around her take control. Police arrived within minutes. The man was escorted away, protesting loudly, while the boy was wrapped in a warm jacket and guided gently to a chair. Emily knelt in front of him, keeping a safe distance. "You're okay now," she said softly. He nodded, clutching his dinosaur. "My mom said to find someone with a name tag," he whispered. Emily swallowed hard. "You did exactly right," she told him, pride swelling in her chest. Later, Emily learned the details. Noah had been taken from a park 2 days earlier while his mother stepped away briefly. The entire city had been searching. When officers confirmed his identity, the store erupted in quiet relief. Emily watched as Noah was reunited with his mother, who collapsed to her knees, sobbing as she held him. The sight etched itself into Emily's memory forever. She stood back, not wanting attention, just grateful she had listened to her instincts. News vans parked outside by evening. Emily declined interviews, overwhelmed by the sudden spotlight. She went home that night exhausted, replaying every moment in her mind. What if she hadn't noticed? What if she'd rushed the transaction like any other? The questions haunted her, but so did the image of No's small voice finding courage. She realized heroism wasn't loud or dramatic. Sometimes it was quiet, trembling, and rooted in paying attention when it mattered most. The next week, the store felt different. Customers smiled at Emily with knowing looks. Some thanked her. Others hugged her without saying a word. Emily returned each greeting kindly, but she didn't feel changed so much as affirmed. She had always believed details mattered, that kindness and awareness could ripple outward in ways unseen. Now she knew it for certain. Every beep of the scanner felt like a promise to stay present, to keep noticing. One afternoon, a handwritten card waited in her locker. Inside was a photo of Noah smiling, his dinosaur tucked under his arm. The note from his mother was simple, full of gratitude and relief. Emily held it close, tears finally falling. She pinned the photo inside her locker door as a reminder. Not of fear or danger, but of trust, trusting instincts, trusting compassion, and trusting that even ordinary places could become the setting for extraordinary moments. Life went on, as it always does. The automatic doors kept opening and closing. The store stayed busy. But Emily carried something new with her now, a quiet confidence that awareness could save lives. She watched more closely, listened more carefully, and spoke up when something felt wrong. In a world full of noise, she had learned the power of noticing. And because she did, a missing child found his way home.